Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today is Sunday, May 8, 2022. Sun in Taurus and a first quarter moon in Leo. Taurus is our fixed earth sign, and it's ruled by Venus. And Venus is the receptive aspect of our lives, right? So when the sun is in Taurus, our major life focus is likely to be on our physical resources and how we get them, how we receive them. We look around for ways to secure the resources we need that aren't variable or very much subject to change. You know, we want to get the groceries from the same store every time. We want to be able to rely on the electric company to provide the electricity we need and not have to look for other ways to do it. A tough job sometimes when rebellion-minded Uranus is also in Taurus, has been since 2018, will be through 2026. Many of our reliable sources have become less reliable over the last few years. Fortunately, Venus, being the ruler of Taurus, is currently transiting in Aries, blending receptiveness with initiative. We're positively engaged in this at this time in the shifting landscape of sources and resources. The first quarter moon in Leo gives us the drive and enthusiasm to complete the establishment of our plans and goals for the future, both near and far. And at this time, we begin to take action toward the completion or partial completion of some goals so that we have new achievements to celebrate with the full moon a week from today. Solar Beltane began last Sunday, so it's been about a week. We're about halfway through this 2-week period. This is the midpoint celebration between spring equinox and summer solstice. I think it's poetic that the solar midpoint landed at the new moon, and the lunar midpoint comes 2 weeks later with the full moon in Scorpio on May 15. This is a perfect space of time, these 2 weeks that we're right in the middle of right now, aligned with the creative cycle we observe with the moon's phases to culminate our first steps toward the more expanded life experience we seek. We've given thought to what more we need. Now we begin to lay the plans, and between now and the full moon, we will actually have time to act and achieve something that truly sets us substantially on our new path. It's important at this time to celebrate our material resources, our bodies, our jobs and businesses, the people who keep us in business. The sources of our livelihood are the subject of our rituals and prayers for strength and increase at this time. Okay, I'll get into the aspects. First, I will point out the handcrafted key right on the right-hand side of the page. Most of the symbols on the page have made it into the key, so if you desire a point of reference, it's probably over here. I've otherwise divided the page into 2 columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon is the luminary that sheds light on our inner lives. This is about your relationship with yourself, what it feels like for you to be in your body, heart, and mind, and in your home. The transits and aspects the moon makes are all very brief, and they have a subtle impact on those things you think, feel, know, and intuit, but may choose whether to express. The sun is the luminary that sheds light on our outer lives. This is the outward expression of yourself in the world, specifically in your work, social, and civic spaces. I address the sun and the rest of the planet's movements on this side because they have a greater effect on that outward expression in our lives. We begin on the moon side today, this afternoon at 12:41 Central Standard Time, friends. Moon goes square to Uranus. We may struggle with some impulsiveness at this time. Quick changes in the home may bring up challenges with those we keep close, so let's communicate and exercise a little bit of restraint and foresight when we feel that urge to make some impulsive change. On the sun side today at 7:21 this evening, sun goes square to moon. This aspect actually indicates the culmination of the first quarter moon, and it also indicates a challenging alignment between our inner and outer lives. Challenges aren't meant to stop us, though. They're meant to remind us where we are resolved to move forward as we begin to act toward the completion of our goals. In the ongoing column, we have it seems like ever more going on. Jupiter is sextile to Pluto through this Sunday the 8th. So through today, last day. How did that sneak up on me, guys? So Jupiter sextile to Pluto, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Pisces most likely to notice these vibes, but they are for everybody. Jupiter sees the evolution that we're undergoing as individuals and as a collective, and Jupiter wants to bring us ease as we move through this period of transformation. This aspect is with us just today, and it promises some access to grace in transition. So if you've found some moments of grace while you're working on your transition, just take it where you can find it. It's all for your personal growth. Mercury sextile Venus will be with us through the 11th. So just a few more days. This has been bringing us positive cooperative vibes between the intellect and our ability to attract what we need and desire in our lives. Taurus, Gemini, Virgo, and Libra have ruling planets here. We are now empowered to negotiate the terms by which we receive attention, affection, compensation. Be realistic, take inflation into account, think about what it is that you truly have been doing, what kind of labor you've been giving out, and ask for what you need in return. Venus requires this sense that our relationships are balanced, and that takes some self-advocating sometimes. That's what this is all about. You've got this positive sextile aspect saying, if you but advocate for yourself and tell the people who can give you what you need, what it is that you need, then you can have a good outcome from that. Through May 13, we have Mars sextile Uranus, adding another layer of positivity, fun, and grace as we go through these shifts and changes. Aries, Scorpio, and Aquarius may especially notice this vibe. We are graced with quick, intuitive decision-making and an ability to enjoy ourselves as we take action to shape our lives. So, this is one of the rewards of being actively engaged, fully participating, willing, and walking forward into your transformations, is that you get to have some fun with it, right? You get to be like, oh, I'm on a ride and we're having a great time, and then we're going to go to this place. It's going to be great, right? So, taking positive action toward the changes that are coming up for us usually works out really well for us. And this sextile energy says, yes, good outcomes. Go ahead and take those actions in the direction of the changes that you're trying to make. Mercury sextile Jupiter will be with us through the 28th. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. This month we have exceptional mental clarity regarding the big picture in our lives. It's time to articulate that bigger, better, more complex and satisfying plan that we envision for ourselves. We have to lay it all out on the table, pay attention to the details. Your efforts, again, blessed with good outcomes. Sun sextile Mars will remain in aspect through the 4th of June. That's Aries, Leo, and Scorpio have ruling planets here. This influence wants us to feel alive and juiced up with the energy to act, to pursue, and to satisfy our physical drives. So taken together with that Mars sextile Uranus, we have an urge to change. It's a blessed urge. It's happening under good energy, right? In both cases. And we feel driven to make those changes. We feel driven to be active toward the culmination of our goals. So take advantage of that extra energy. Mercury trine Pluto is here through the 19th. Gemini, Virgo, and Scorpio would notice this one the most, but it is, again, for everybody. This aspect reinforces the idea that this is a great time to share our thoughts and plans with others. We can be very persuasive at this time as we are capable of seeing through to the core of things and speaking to what is important. We know what is important to ourselves, like deep down we know the truth of our own hearts. We can see the truth of other people's hearts when they speak to us. We can also see the truth underlying the situations or the circumstances we find ourselves in. And that's great because then we can communicate, and that trine is like the most positive possible functioning you can have between, being able to see deeply into yourself or into another person or into a situation, and being able to think, plan, and communicate regarding what you see there. And a reminder that Pluto is retrograde through the 8th of October. Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio, but it impacts us more on a collective level than simply the individual. And that goes for Uranus. Yeah, maybe Saturn, but Uranus, definitely, Neptune, and Pluto. They have such long transits that you may not even see them go through. You may not even see them come to a return in your lifetime. Uranus transits are something like 6 or 8 years. So you might see it make a return, but it would take a long time. And then Pluto's transits are like 25 or 30 years. You might see Pluto transit 3 signs in a lifetime. So when Pluto is retrograde, and right now Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn for the last time, 25 years Pluto has been in Capricorn, 25 or more years Pluto has been in Capricorn, making retrogrades for about 6 months out of every year. This is going to be the last Pluto retrograde in Capricorn that any of us is ever going to witness, okay? And it's bound to bring in a lot of intensity as we go through some more shifts and changes, transformations in our internal sense of what works for us to achieve our goals and to build something strong. This is also a time when the things that don't work, like bad habits, toxicity in our relationships, or poor money management, will be painfully clear to us. Jupiter, currently sextile to Pluto, giving us the grace to move through the changes as we make the changes that we have to make as early as we may. So keep your eyes open for opportunities, step in the right direction, and take them when you see them. Pluto is offering us grace and transformation. Mars and Uranus are offering us grace and fun and activity in our transformation. Like Sun and Mars here are offering us an opportunity to take part in our transformation. So is Mercury trine Pluto here, really asking us to think, plan, and communicate about the transformations that are happening outside our lives and inside our lives. And, it doesn't just happen to one person. Like I said, it's a collective thing. We're all going through transformations at this time. So, be kind to other people. You never know what they're dealing with. Okay, so next Tuesday, Mercury will go retrograde. That will be the second of 3 retrogrades for Mercury this year, bringing in 3 weeks of potential for shakeups, misunderstandings, in our ability to think, plan, and communicate, and just generally being stopped. Often, I find that I struggle with my electronics during Mercury retrograde, or, just... the other thing is that I forget to listen to other people. So, it's one thing to be really good at communicating, but if you don't hear what other people are saying, it's not really a conversation, is it? And then the same day, next Tuesday, Jupiter will make ingress to Aries, bringing growth and expansion to our capacity to act. I should say that's this Tuesday coming up. And on Sunday, this next Sunday, brings the full moon in Scorpio, which is also lunar Beltane, or the moon's midpoint between equinox and solstice. There will be a total lunar eclipse that night, visible in Central Standard Time just after 11 p.m. So depending on where you are, it might be a different time of day. Just, type it into a search, a browser bar, how can I see the lunar eclipse this weekend? And something will come up that will show you how and when to see it. Okay, friends, that's it for today's astrology. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please like my video, subscribe, click the notifications bell. I post here every day, and I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. And friends, I appreciate it truly when you comment to ask questions and provide encouragement. I see you doing that, and it's really good for my ego, so thank you for that. But it isn't just gratifying for me to know that you're listening. It lets YouTube know that you're engaged in the content, and that is important. Also, if you know anyone for whom this guidance may resonate, I encourage you to share. Now I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk about Tarot as it relates to astrology today. First, I'll discuss the Tarot card that sits on the side of the page. Then I'll do a quick rundown of today's astrology before throwing a random card that hopefully speaks to today's energies. So let's go ahead and get into that. The tarot card that sits on the side of the page is the Six of Pentacles, and it represents, in astrology, the second 10 days of the sun's transit through Taurus. So here we are, Taurus is fixed earth sign. This is the very middle of that earth sign. And this is the Six of Pentacles, which is an indicator that somebody has gained some wealth, some prosperity. Pentacles is about your personal health, your bodily well-being, and it's also about your wealth and your finances, right? So this person has accrued enough material wealth that they can dress well and they can carry their scales around and sort of decide who deserves a part of their earnings, right? And if you put it in context, before this we had the Five of Coins, and that was that sort of poverty mindset, being in a space of lack and not necessarily remembering to ask for help, but a reminder also to ask for help when you are in lack of physical resources that you need, because there are enough resources. So this puts a person kind of on the other side of that, right? This is a person who is no longer in need, if they ever were. And in fact, they have so much that they know it's only fair, it's only just. That's what the scales are about. The scales are about justice, being fair and balanced, right? It's only fair to share some of what you have with people who have less, so that you can contribute also to their growth and expansion. Because, for me to grow and expand, I'm going to reach a limit if I'm not helping the people around me come up as well. Okay, and with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle some cards and remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. So it's very much our receptive quality, and Taurus being an earth sign, it's how we receive material resources. That's what our minds are on, is how we receive our material resources. And Taurus really likes, a fixed, stable, receptive mode where we know where our resources are coming from. We have only to make the call or click the button, right? Uranus has been in Taurus for a few years now, though, and will be in Taurus for a few more years. So there's been a lot of shifting in the landscape of how we source the things that we like to provide for ourselves, the things that we need and desire, those things we like, love, and can't get enough of, right? The material resources that we need and desire to get on with our lives, the sources have been changing, and it's been harder to get the things that we need. It even costs more now to get most of the stuff we want or need. So there's been a lot of change there. There's going to be a lot of change still. We still need to be having this conversation about our bigger plan, our long-term plan, and how we're going to get what it is that we need to receive in exchange for what we're giving in the world as well. And the moon is a first quarter moon. That is the halfway point between the new moon and the full moon. So this is the point where we stop planning and setting intentions, and we just start going ahead and taking action on the plans that we have made. So you have to commit to a course of action, and then you have to start taking action. And in Leo, that's a great thing, because Leo is fire sign. Leo has drive, Leo has spark, Leo has enthusiasm, and Leo's fixed fire. We've got fixed earth and fixed fire. Fixed fire knows how to stay the course, knows how to, maintain the burn, right? So that's a great sign for the moon to be in, as we are starting to take action toward the culmination of some of those goals that we'll have with the full moon in Scorpio next Sunday. On the moon side of the page today, we had one aspect, moon square Uranus, and it just says, look, hey, if you're feeling impulsive in your heart, if you're feeling impulsive about something in your home, you want to make a change, you want to do something a little bit differently, you might face a challenge. So, usually the answer to that is to communicate with somebody that you keep close, so that, they understand what you're doing before you go ahead and do it. Maybe then you'll face less of a challenge, or maybe they'll tell you why that's a great idea, or maybe they'll tell you why that's not the best possible idea right now, and that, we can exercise some restraint. On the sun side of the page, the sun went square to the moon today. That is the culmination of that first quarter moon, and it's also symbolically outer versus inner conflict. Not conflict, challenges, okay? And challenges motivate action. They help us remember what we're resolved to do, so that we can go ahead and move forward and do it. Jupiter sextile Pluto, Mercury sextile Venus, Mars sextile Uranus, Mercury sextile Jupiter, Sun sextile Mars, Mercury trine Pluto. All this sextile energy, it's cooperative. It's about a cooperative vibration. It's about these planets working together to help us have good outcomes, okay? So that's really good news. It's about our bigger plan, our expanded version of ourselves, how we're going to receive the things that we need, how and what we can do to take action, and like really the conversation needs to be happening as well, especially with that Mercury trine Pluto. Like, see through to the core, see what it is that you need from inside your heart, see what it is that your partner in crime needs as well, and look deeply into your situation, and come up with a great idea, an expanded version of yourself. Lay out the bigger plan, and if you have to persuade somebody to go along with you, now is the time to try to be persuasive as well. Pluto is retrograde, so evolution is always happening. It happens very slowly. It's a process. It happens to more people than just one at a time, right? But we are all evolving, and right now those evolutions, those changes are happening on the inside. And with all of that said, I wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there. I am not personally anybody's mama, but a lot of people tend to look to me as though I were one anyway, and I love them for it. But I especially love the mothers in my life. I love my mother, and I love my sister, and I love all of my friends who are mothers as well. So Happy Mother's Day to you all. And we got the Eight of Rods. Okay, so Eight of Rods is great. Rods is wands. Wands is fire in Tarot. Okay, so the fixed fire sign, Leo, really embodies Eight of Rods, because Eight of Rods is about momentum. It's having the drive and the force and the power, the energy, that everything is just moving forward, right? Information is coming in and we're doing well with it. And also we can take action, okay? We are driven to satisfy our physical desires. We have a lot of momentum behind us. It's not as though we have to push to get started. We have gotten started and we are rolling downhill fast, friends. So take these actions while you can, all right? And I say downhill, but I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean like we are on the slope, and we can get to our goals very quickly if we work with the planets and what they have to say to us, to get from the mode of making plans or having intentions, wishing we could do things, to taking action on them and making sure to take enough action to culminate our goals. Okay, so momentum is with us, friends, and especially when we are generous with others, okay, with our resources with others. And your physical resource might just be that you have a very healthy, strong body and you can help people, I don't know, do heavy lifting, or do, show up for people in a physical way that helps. And then your physical resources might also be wealth. And if you've got, a lot of money in your bank account and somebody who's in need, why not help them out? Because probably at some point somebody helped you out as well. And I believe that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate you being here. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.